Tigers 4, St Helens 34. The champions going about their business with assurance at this moment in time. Into second now. Really, really solid performance, this one, from St Helens in terms of the result and in terms of their execution. How did Castleford Tigers lose this game? 48 missed tackles St Helens had in this game. They made more errors than the Castleford Tigers. They gave away more penalties. Castleford, 40 tackle busts to St Helens, 18. Quite simply, unbelievable. But Saints won. Why did they win? Because they executed their plays. Clean breaks was where it was at. 9 clean breaks to 1. It was really tight. Every other stat meters made tackles the lot. On paper, and this is why stats can never really tell the whole story. Castleford Tigers were in this game and actually had some really good moments. However, St Helens are St Helens. They know how to execute, and they executed time and time again. That preferred right edge, Percival and Makinson, at it again. Makinson with 2 tries and 2 assists. Percival with a try for himself. Some really nice work down that right edge by St Helens in this one. They're a champion team, and they showed it yet again. Castleford all season, they've just had no bite, have they? They really, really haven't. It's like the soup in Fawlty Towers, isn't it, where there's teeth in it, and Basil brings it back and says, has that one not got as much bite for you? Well, there's no bite at all in the Castleford Tigers attack all season. When they brought in Miller from Wakefield, a lot of people were quite excited by that, but I have to say, Jacob Miller this season has been a shadow of himself versus previous seasons. He's nowhere near the standard. He hasn't executed. I mean, Broadbent, when he's played in the house, has been far better. He really, really has. Simple as that. Blake Austin in that one little cameo, again, probably was half the performance of Miller all season. I mean, Miller really has had a shocker. And of course, now they're having to do it out in the halves. No Greg Eden in this one. Eden, we know, he's a real quality, assured player for Castleford. He was missed, of course, in this particular game, which it meant, of course, in the halves, we know Austin, they had to put Westerman in. And of course, you miss so much from Westerman when you take him out of that loose forward position. Really not good enough at all. Danny Ward at the end, not happy with his players in this one. I mean, yeah, St Helens are a champion team. I get that, but again, where's the next win coming from Castle? Yes, they beat Wakefield last week, but they have been really, really poor all year. We gave Winnip his due last week. He was man of the match. Very ineffective in this one against St Helens. It's easy, isn't it, to get up and look a superstar against a team that's in the lower echelons with you. This is where you show your mettle against the biggest and the best. And quite frankly, they were just found wanting all across the park, Castleford. If I'm a Castleford Tigers fan, this season isn't over yet. Don't get me wrong, I think I fancy you now to stay up. I do think Wakey will be the ones to go, but this was a real shocker of a display. As for St Helens, like I say, absolutely brilliant. Makinson, 2 tries, 2 assists from him, 104 metres from 12 carries. Yeah, really, really solid from Tommy. Very, very pleased for him, of course. And of course, Percival on that side, still doing the goal kicking duties. He got 5 from 6. So, he did his job there. Delaney continues to grow week on week. He got over 100 metres this week, 107 metres from 14 carries for George Delaney. He had a good game. And again, James Bell, another player for me this season who's really shone for St Helens, 125 metres from 21 carries from James Bell, 37 tackles as well. He's starting to make that loose forward position his own, isn't it, St Helens? There's no question about that. Real quality, assured player is James Bell. Yeah, what can you say other than you would have expected St Helens to win this? Don't get me wrong, the statistics show that Castleford really, had they have had that execution, that bite, maybe, just maybe, based on the other stats, had they got over the line for some 4-pointers, they might have got a bit of a sweat on St Helens. But St Helens, like a Rolls Royce, they just purred right the way through the game, and they hit them when they had their opportunities. This was, for me personally, an example of taking your chances. Great to see Batchelor as well on that right edge. He got a try and an assist as well. Good to see him back. He's a great player, isn't he? Him and his brother at KR, 2 outstanding talents. Right, let's take a look at what's next for these 2 teams. Castleford Tigers, next up for you will be, when I get to the right page, the Warrington Wolves, of course, at the Halliwell Jones. That's going to be live on Sky. Then it's a home performance against Hull FC before going on the road for the last 2 of the season, Wigan and Leeds. That's a really, really bad running. For me personally, I'll just say it. I think next week's probably your best chance of points against Warrington, depending on how Warrington go against FC this week. I don't see many wins in your future, Castleford. I'm sorry. As for St. Helens, they go up against Wakey next time. That's going to do their points for and against. No harm whatsoever. I really fear for Wakey there. I know Wakey have had some big scalps this season, but I don't see St. Helens losing that one. I think Saints will win quite comfortably. And of course, depending on the game today, Wigan and Catalan, depending on how that game goes, suddenly St. Helens could be right back in the mix for the League Leaders Shield. And who'd have thought that? I mean, again, it's just that, like I said, it's just been going about the business, haven't they? Going right under the radar. Well, they're not under the radar anymore, sitting firmly in second place for them. Then it's Lee Leopards at home. Again, Lee not going well. They're going to need to get back on the horse against Huddersfield next week to stand for me any chance of going to St. Helens and turning them over. Then it's Warrington Wolves away. Always a good fixture. Warrington always get up for Saints. Whether they'll beat them or not, that's another story. But Warrington will give them a go, I'm sure of that. And then Hull FC at home to close out the regular season. St. Helens, congratulations. A champion performance. We wouldn't expect anything less from you. As for Castleford Tigers, quite simply, not good enough. On a week when GCSEs came out and the standards have dropped, believe you me, the standards have dropped this season at the Castleford Tigers. Castleford 4, St. Helens 34. We'll see you next time on In Sheds.